The U.S. government is never going to move from selling you freedom to selling you curfews, selling you forced arm candy and forced boostables of the arm candy. The government cannot move full scale into that. The reason they did it in 2020 is because they sold fear, and America runs on fear. Not Duncan, fear. They sold fear flawlessly, and that is why they were able to do that. But now too many eyes are open, and that's not going to work. So it will either be some kind of hard impact thing or something else. But all I know is that the government will not be able to restyle itself into something that will have us back in face masks, but less vocal, unless that thing is at a threat level where even the so-called patriotic sons of freedom, you can't get us, we're going to be in Florida and we're still going to be outside on the beaches and everything, whatever beaches remain. It's not going to happen unless something that is above what even protest can work on happens. So that is just all I want you to know. God showed me just to see if people milling around, so angry, wanting to speak, all they could do was just show disapproval with their faces, but they were back in the face masks, and I saw that, and I just thought, well, Lord, just guide and keep your people through whatever it is it's going to be. And so here we go with the earthquake prophecy. The San Francisco earthquake is closer than you think. Don't forget what I told you about it. Don't let it be off your mind. It will be one of the most devastating earthquakes in American history. A 9 or higher on the Richter scale, striking at a time of full rush hour traffic when everyone will be in the street. It will not happen at an off-peak time or day, but on a weekday, a busy time of day, a time when everyone will be in the street. All up and down the coast of LA, that quake will be felt in parts of California. California will be shattered off of the mainland into the sea, never to be seen again. He's talking about parts of California here. It will be 1, a major disaster, and 2, the worst in the nation's history. And the world is not ready to see America humbled and suffering like that. The world will have mixed reactions to the quake, laughing and crying. While at home, Americans will be completely devastated and crying out for a relief that will not come. There is no way to retrieve bodies from the water, nor homes that have sunk underground. Huge craters will open up inland of California because of the San Francisco earthquake. This earthquake is coming. Alert everyone to be on their guard for what will be one of the greatest judgments from God in living history. America, you will join the likes of Rome for her fires and Atlantis for her sinking in the sea. It will cut gas lines everywhere, and huge fires will break out all over LA and most of California. It will be a blaze of fire, flood from incoming onrushing seawater, sinkholes from ground instability, electrical fires from the light poles will break out, earthquake tremors coming every minute to increase the instability and danger of the whole terrain, and many other things will be seen. It will cause a mass tsunami due to the drop of the land mass into the ocean, and one of the greatest death tolls ever recorded will be seen in American history. You have reached the end of an era. You have reached the year of no safety, no protection, no warning. 2025, I'm coming for you, America. I will bend you to my will, I will bend you to my will by the things you suffer. And the end result will be like a pretzel going through the twisting process to end up in its final shape. I am through with talking to you to no avail. I am through with warning you, through with castigating you like a stubborn child who will not listen to reason or warning anymore. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say the wages of sin is death. I'm going to show you that I am the Lord. This is the word of the Lord.
Even as declared and written. Her coast will be covered. She shall be split along the middle from the gulf to the lakes. Great fire will fall, and their missiles will be launched, and my mighty angel will cast a great stone into the sea. And secret Babylon's greatest city shall not escape, nor the city of angels, because truly, truly will her sinful cities burn and be overthrown. The armies of the beast will be released, and they shall hunt every person and will cull multitudes. And they have orders to eliminate all who does not suit their purposes or who could rise to fight them another day. Hear my words, my people, even all whom I am calling, and understand the times in which you live. For the world you now know will cease to exist, and in its place many wastelands will remain, even the ashes and ruins of Mystery Babylon, for war is come. For as I snatch my bride into the heavens, great calamity will engulf secret Babylon, and she will be destroyed in 1 hour, and in 1 hour shall she be destroyed. And nothing can change her fate, for Yahweh has so declared. So that finality will fully arrive when I gather the faithful of my church to me in the clouds, and when their departing shakes the entire world, it will literally shake the earth, and great shaking will consume secret Babylon, and she will be rent up the middle as my saints depart. She will be utterly burned with fire from the sky, and their missiles will fall. Her skirts will be covered with waters from the east and from the west. For a mighty angel will take up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. For thus is it written, and thus shall it be done. For great is her judgment, and judgment has begun at the house of God.
They're accustomed to experiencing earthquakes all the time. It's nothing new. If there's a 4 point something, they're like, yep, it's another earthquake. But the scientists are really cautioning us that the state faces a huge but lesser known danger, the super Shear earthquakes. They're moving so quickly, guys, you really have to understand this. They're moving so quickly that they're basically outrunning their own seismic waves. And that's why they produce stronger and more widespread shaking than ordinary earthquakes. So the scientists are warning California, and they say you have to resize your hazard preparedness strategies because of that. Because the risk level is far greater than anticipated. And one thing we have to make clear, this is not only isolated to California, this problem. California is no more likely to have the super Shear earthquakes than other similar regions with large fault systems that are like the San Andreas Fault. Remember Myanmar, for example. So the threat has gone unnoticed, not only in California, also in other areas of the world for far too long. Professor of Earth Sciences and Director of the statewide California Earthquake Center, Yehuda Ben Zion says, quote, the frequency of these super Shear ruptures has been greatly underappreciated. That sounds scary, guys. So we can compare this to a plane exceeding the speed of sound. Then it generates a very powerful shock wave in the atmosphere, and a super Shear rupture creates shock fronts in the ground once it surpasses the velocity of seismic shear waves. So the earthquake is not breaking the sound barrier, but it's breaking the shear wave barrier in the rocks, in the ground, and then it produces these super destructive waves that are stronger than anything what's normally generated in an earthquake.
Revelation. Revelation. Test 1, 2. Revelation chapter 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you may not be partakers of her sins, and that you receive not her plagues. For her sins have reached into heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, a double unto her double, according to her works. In the cup of which she hath filled to her double, how much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall be wail and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off, the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linens, the purple and silk and scarlet, and all thyine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slave, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and godly and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster, and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many trade by the sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust in their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city wherein we were made rich, that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastlines, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heavens, and you holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpets, shall be heard no more in all of thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more in all of thee. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more in all of thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and saints, and all that were slain upon the earth.